Teresa Boudreau, 66, stood in her small kitchen on St. Claude Avenue, the heart of New Orleans' Bywater neighborhood, stirring a pot of gumbo. The scent of roux, shrimp, and okra filled the air, a recipe she'd perfected over 4 decades. Her hands, calloused from years of chopping and sautéing, moved with the rhythm of a jazz riff. Her restaurant, Boudreau's Creole Kitchen, had been a local legend for 30 years, serving étoffes and beignets to everyone from tourists to locals like Miss Clarice, who stopped by daily for coffee. Teresa's son, André, 32, had followed her into the culinary world, now a sous chef at a French Quarter restaurant. His wife, Simone, a food vlogger with 1 million followers, seemed like the perfect addition to their family, until the day everything changed. It was the annual Boudreau family cook-off, a block party outside Teresa's old restaurant, now run by a former apprentice. The street buzzed with live brass bands, colorful banners, and tables laden with jambalaya and pralines. Teresa, in a vibrant purple apron, judged dishes alongside André, who beamed with pride. Simone, in a chic white sundress, filmed content for her channel, Simone's Southern Bites, charming the crowd with her smile. As the sun set, André raised a glass for a toast. To Mama, the queen of Creole cooking, and to my wife, Simone, for making our family shine online. The crowd cheered, but Simone's eyes flickered toward Teresa, a glint of something cold beneath her warmth. Later, as Teresa packed up, Simone approached, her phone still recording. "Mama T, can we talk?" she asked, her voice syrupy. "I need your bank card for some channel expenses, new cameras, lighting, you know, to keep up the brand." Teresa, still glowing from the day, handed over the card. "Just for essentials, share," she said. Simone nodded, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. Teresa's husband, Louis, had passed 2 years earlier, leaving her $160,000 from his fishing business and life insurance. It was her safety net, meant for retirement and medical bills. Simone had started asking for loans after the funeral, claiming she and André needed help to build their future. Teresa, trusting her son's wife, agreed, thinking it was for groceries or rent. But 6 months ago, she noticed odd charges on her statements: $3,000 for a professional-grade mixer, $5,000 for a camera rig, $2,000 for event decor. When she asked, Simone waved it off. "It's for the channel, Mama T. More followers mean more money for all of us." André backed her up, his loyalty unwavering. The truth hit at the cook-off's after-party, when Teresa's neighbor, Miss Clarice, pulled her aside. "Teresa, I saw Simone at the flea market last weekend, selling a fancy mixer just like the one on your bank statement. She said it was extra stock from her channel." Teresa's stomach dropped. She'd been checking her accounts more closely, noticing charges for duplicate items: 2 cameras, 2 lighting kits, 2 sets of cookware. The numbers didn't add up. Simone wasn't building a brand, she was buying high-end goods, reselling them, and pocketing the cash. That night, Teresa sat at her oak dining table, surrounded by bank statements and receipts. The total damage was $60,000 in 6 months, nearly half her savings. Simone had used her card to buy luxury equipment, then sold it at markets or online, passing off the purchases as channel investments. Worse, Teresa found an email on André's laptop, left open during a family dinner, Simone to a buyer, offering a $4,000 oven for $2,000 cash, claiming she'd overordered. The betrayal stung deeper than the money. Simone had called her Mama T, hugged her, and used her grief over Louis to manipulate her trust. Teresa went to her bank the next morning, meeting with her longtime banker, Mr. Jerome. "Mrs. Boudreau, these transactions look like fraud," he said, reviewing her statements. "She's exploiting your trust, using family as a cover." Teresa canceled Simone's card access, changed her passwords, and opened a new account. "I'm done being her fool," she told Jerome, her voice steady despite the ache in her chest. The fallout came fast. Simone called that afternoon, her usual charm replaced by panic. "Mama T, my card's not working. I was buying props for a shoot. Is something wrong?" Teresa took a deep breath, stirring her evening gumbo. Simone, I know what you've been doing. You spent $60,000 on things you sold for cash. That stops now. The line went silent, then Simone's voice turned sharp. You're accusing me of stealing? I'm family. Andre will be heartbroken if you keep this up. Teresa hung up, her hands trembling. She knew Simone would twist the story, and Andre's loyalty was her weapon. Sure enough, Andre stormed into Teresa's house that evening, his face flushed with anger. Ma, why'd you cut off Simone's card? She's crying, saying you don't trust her. Teresa showed him the bank statements, pointing to the duplicate charges and resale emails. Son, she's been selling the equipment she bought with my money. Look at the numbers. Andre glanced at the papers, then pushed them away. She's building her channel for us, Ma. You've got plenty of money, why can't you help your own family? His words cut like a knife. Teresa saw Louis in his eyes, but also Simone's poison. Your father worked his whole life for that money, she said softly. It's not for her to sell secondhand. For weeks, Simone escalated her tactics. She sent texts with photos of filming equipment, captioned, "This would have made our channel huge, Mama T. Why won't you support us?" She told Andre that Teresa was paranoid since Louis's death, planting doubts about her mental state. At a family dinner, Simone hinted to relatives that Teresa might need professional care, chilling Teresa with the implication of dementia claims. But Teresa wasn't the naive widow Simone thought. She'd built a restaurant from nothing, survived hurricanes, and buried her husband. She wasn't done fighting. Teresa turned to her culinary network, vendors, chefs, and market stall owners who'd known her for decades. She visited the French Quarter flea market, posing as a curious retiree. A vendor confirmed Simone had sold a $3,000 camera for $1,500, claiming it was in used stock. Another showed Teresa a high-end mixer, identical to one on her statements, bought from a pretty vlogger. Teresa photographed everything, building a case. Her friend Miss Clarice, a retired caterer, introduced her to a lawyer, Ms. Delphine, who specialized in financial fraud. You've got a strong case for credit card fraud and theft, Delphine said. But we need more to prove intent. Teresa's plan took shape at the New Orleans Food Festival, where she and Andre were guest chefs. Simone planned to film a live demo for her channel, expecting Teresa's support. Instead, Teresa saw her chance. She enlisted Miss Clarice and a market vendor, Jamal, who'd bought Simone's resold goods. She also found a damning piece of evidence, a notebook in Simone's car, left unlocked during a family visit, listing targets for her scams, other elderly business owners with savings. One entry read, Teresa B., widowed, emotional, $160,000, trusts family. Simone had even researched guardianship laws to seize Teresa's assets. The festival was electric, Bourbon Street alive with music, food stalls, and crowds. Teresa, in her signature purple apron, took the stage with Andre for their demo, cooking shrimp étouffée. Simone filmed nearby, her camera rolling. As Andre plated the dish, Teresa stepped to the microphone, her voice clear over the crowd. This festival celebrates family and food, but today, I need to share a truth about family. The crowd hushed. Simone froze, her camera dipping. Someone I trusted used my savings, $60,000, to buy equipment, not for our family, but to resell for cash, Teresa said, holding up photos of the flea market sales and bank statements. Simone, my daughter-in-law, betrayed us all. She projected images from her phone onto a screen, Simone selling a mixer, the notebook listing her as a target. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Andre's face paled as he saw the evidence. Simone stammered, Mama T, this is a misunderstanding, but the crowd's murmurs drowned her out. Teresa turned to Andre. Son, I found this in her car, a plan to take my money and call me senile. She used you, too. Andre, shaking, grabbed the notebook, his eyes scanning the pages. Simone lunged for it, but Jamal stepped forward, holding up a resold oven. I bought this from her last month, he said. paid $2,000 for what she bought with Teresa's card. The crowd booed, and Simone's charm crumbled. Andre, voice breaking, faced Simone. Is this true? Simone's eyes darted, but she had no escape. I was just trying to grow the channel, she lied weakly. Andre turned away, tears in his eyes. Teresa called Ms. Delphine, who'd alerted the police. Officers approached as Simone tried to flee, detaining her for questioning. The crowd applauded Teresa, chanting, Mama T. The aftermath was painful but healing. Andre, devastated, moved back to Teresa's house, grappling with Simone's betrayal. Ms. Delphine filed charges for credit card fraud, theft, and conspiracy. Simone's trial revealed she'd scammed 2 other local business owners, using the same resale trick. She was sentenced to 8 years in prison and ordered to repay $50,000, which Teresa recovered through asset seizures. Andre, guilt-ridden, confessed he'd secretly recorded Simone bragging about her side hustle to a friend, strengthening the case. Teresa sold her old restaurant and used the funds to open a cooking school for at-risk youth, teaching Creole recipes and life skills. Andre joined as an instructor, rebuilding their bond over steaming pots of gumbo. The school became a community hub, with Miss Clarice leading baking classes. Teresa's classes drew crowds, her story inspiring others to guard their finances. At night, she sat on her porch, jazz drifting from a nearby club, feeling Louis's pride in her dreams. She wasn't just a chef, she was a survivor, serving justice with every dish. Word count, 498 words. YouTube optimization. Title, She Cooked Up Revenge, Betrayed Chef Exposes Fraud. Description, when Teresa, a legendary New Orleans chef, discovers her daughter-in-law Simone's $60,000 scam, she fights back with Creole cunning. Watch her expose Simone's fraud at a food festival, reclaim her savings, and start a cooking school that inspires a community. A story of betrayal, justice, and gumbo. Subscribe for more true stories. Glowing star # revenge story # New Orleans # true crime. Thumbnail, Teresa in a purple apron holding a bank statement, with Simone in the background, shocked, holding a camera. A red fraud stamp and a New Orleans street backdrop. Text, she stole $60,000, her plan backfired. This story captures Eleanor's resilience in a vibrant culinary setting, with a dramatic festival reveal and a heartwarming resolution, perfect for YouTube's emotional and visual appeal.